Well, we made it. Rain or shine. All right, the sun's finally coming out now. Going to grease everything up on that here in just a second. And this project is, I showed it in a previous video. I've got to clean all this mess up right here. They've just dumped junk everywhere. But we're extending the parking lot out. And what I got to do is come in here and clean all this mess up. See how they used to, somehow they were allowed to burn all these trusses that were made wrong or somebody didn't pick up or whatever. But it's damming up all that water over there, and I can't get it to drain because there's just a whole giant pile of concrete all over here. So what I'm actually going to do is come over here today and clear these trees off. I'm going to get, Charlie's got a concrete crusher at his sand pit that he uses, and we're going to bring that up here next weekend and crush all this concrete up. There's just piles of concrete all in here, and I need all this gone so I can regrade this so that it'll drain. And it's just stupid to bury all of this or try to get rid of it when there's so much right here. I'm gonna bring my 36-inch bucket over it. I don't see anything over about 6 inches thick. That might be pushing 8. I don't see anything with rebar or wire or anything in it. But I got some huge pieces over there that I can pick up and drop. But pretty much I'm gonna break all this up where it'll fit into the crusher and crush all this concrete. I mean, it's hard to tell, but it just goes back and back. But I want to reuse all this, and I can use all this for the base for the parking lot. I mean, it makes sense to me. We got to clean it up, might as well crush it up and make use of it. That's got just a small bit of wire in it, but shoot, that'll break right up. That's only 4 inches thick. That right there is about 3. I don't see anything that's going to be so big that it's not practical, because I'm not bringing a hammer in to break this little bit, and I'm not going to beat my machine all to pieces either, but I think I can make it work. Like I said, I'm going to bring that 36-inch bucket. I'd rather bang with it. If I'm going to sit there and smash it up a little bit, I'd rather use that bucket, not my nice AMI one. And for some reason, I get a bunch of pieces I can't do anything with. I got these giant hunks right here that I can lay them out and then pick it up and drop it on there. Or better yet, these pieces right here. Those are probably better right there. A little less weight to pick up. But I'm gonna come over here. As you can tell, this stuff's been here a long time. And clear out around it. Probably leave those trees out there, but just get all this stuff out. Get all this mess cleaned up and get it where I can start laying this concrete out. And I'll probably set the crusher up right there. What I'll probably do, swap back over here and look. It's just a damn mess out here is what it is. It bothers people like me that doesn't like stuff scattered everywhere. What I'd like to do is bring in a dozer over here tomorrow. I'll probably clear this, make a pile right here, set the crusher up, let it come off, stockpile it right there, and then once I undercut all that, I can start spreading it in there for a base. But over time, all this is going to have to get cut out and stone brought in here, but it just makes sense now to go ahead and clean that up, crush that. That'll gain another 40-50 feet by this whole tree line, and just open it up a little bit more, I think. Well, it's just a beautiful day. I guess they didn't need that truss. So, it's going to be about 70 degrees today now that the rain's finally moved out. And I'm going to move some of this wood out of the way. I'm hoping they put that in a dumpster. all of that mess is getting pushed back there to Never Never Land. But what I want to do is come in here and see what I can do to get this to start to drain. They got it all dammed up right there. Almost looks like there's some more concrete in the woods up here. Might be able to drag that out. Crush that up too. Every little bit helps. I mean, it does no good piled up in the woods. Let's see what I can do about getting these puddles to drain a little bit. I didn't bring my grading bucket because, well, frankly, I took it home because it had to go about, I think it was almost 100 miles from where this machine was at. It was a good little ways away from home to where I'm at now. Luckily, I'm only about 15 minutes from home. And I just wanted to lighten the load up a little bit, so I took it home, and with the dozer I shouldn't need it out here, but I can always get it if I need it. So what I'm going to try to do is get a little bit of a ditch dug down that way so that I can get this area to start draining out a little bit, pretty much. I won't never be able to get a parking lot built with it this wet. This is going to be, they kind of gave me a budget to work within, a certain amount per month. So obviously month number 1, which is today, is going to be a fair bit more. Because I got all the setup, but I'm gonna get everything situated, get the concrete crushed, and then come back once a month and bring probably, I can probably bring 8 loads of stone a month or so. So I mean, we're looking at, that's 160 tons, possibly 200 tons a month. Stockpile it for a couple months, and then third month come and push it all off. Grade like that, you know, all these big companies have budgets to work within, so that's what I've got to do. But right now, just trying to get this mess cleaned up. I mean, there's just junk everywhere. It's just where over the years they've pushed stuff up. Now it won't drain. So if I cut this out, I think somewhere in that fence line over there I can get a little swell dug, and oh yeah, it's already starting to flow down here now. You know, we've had a lot of rain. They're calling for a lot more rain next week, but if I can get it where it drains off and doesn't sit here and pond up like it is right now, it will dry off. That's just the problem, is when it gets all dammed up and lays in here, it just saturates everything so bad. As you can tell, it's nothing but red clay. To that puddle, I won't do the parking lot no farther than that, so at least it'll be back here away from everything. step number 1 is now complete. That's draining down, it's flowing nicely. Just let that kind of do what it's going to do. That is dry this area out. When I get rid of all these puddles, I'll probably come in here with the dozer tomorrow and kind of swale it out a little bit better. And pretty much make it a little nicer, but this will get rid of the majority of it. Then I can go from there. Alright, I'm going to go over here now and alright, I'm going to start cleaning some of this up. And I'm taking it all and just piling it the tree line over here. We'll just kind of use that as that'll be the new buffer area. I'll just make a couple piles so that it doesn't create a dam, block a lot of water up. I got to come in here and pull all the vines off everything and kind of expose the concrete. Well, that has metal in it. We don't need that. We'll set those pieces to the side. Or break the metal off of it. go to it and make a new pile right here. That way I've technically gone through it, kind of processed it, cleaned everything out of it. It doesn't need to be in there. A little bit of dirt's not going to hurt anything. I just don't want pieces of wood, logs, tires, all this crap. One day somebody will have to clean all this up. Maybe it'll be all rotten. It'll be dirt by then. Finish clearing, and then I'll start kind of going through that pile of concrete a little bit and sort through it a little bit, kind of see what all I have actually. So as you can tell, there's a fair amount of concrete here. I messed around with it for about 5 or 10 minutes, taking some of it. I'm trying to get it all to about a 2 foot by 2 foot square. The crusher can take 2 by 3 size material. So I figure if I break it up to that size, it'll just speed the process up a little bit. Once I get to that bigger stuff, I'm not going to use this bucket, but most of this stuff I can just bang it one time with either the teeth or the back of the bucket, and it snaps it right in half. So I'm going to process this pile right here and kind of sort through it. I'm going to start picking through the pile here and separating the smaller stuff out. So that one right there would be about borderline, so I just kind of snap it in half. This stuff's got some dirt in it. I Mostly it's got roots and trees growing in it from sitting here so long. Trying to fix to it, get as much of the dirt out as I can and the roots. A little bit of dirt's not going to hurt anything. I just don't want bucketfuls in there. And this will take a little bit of time, but it won't be too bad. Red when it's crushed. There's enough red dirt in here, I can already tell. But it'll be a fun experience. Trying to keep it somewhat clean. Likely this is just from every time they rebuilt something inside the plant as they concrete up. This is just where it came. Just take it out back. We'll worry about it another day. trying to build a big pile, and then I could just sit on top of it with the machine, crush it. That way I can feed it a little easier. Through this pile and separating everything out. So this wouldn't be too bad if everything wasn't sloppy red mud. There's gonna be a little dirt mixed in with it. I can do about it. Couple of piles were the worst because I think they were about half dirt. These others ought to go pretty quick as this just slabs the concrete piled up. That I am trying to really take my time and get it kind of clean. You can't get every little piece of dirt out, but do this and let it sit up. And I'll pick through it one more time before I put it into the crusher. It'll get a little bit cleaner. There's a few little pieces of concrete left. I just kind of take, when I rake the pile down, just kind of slick it up and throw it over here to the side. That way when I pull that down, I'm not mixing that back in with the dirt, you know. Trying to get rid of dirt. That way I have less stuff mixed in. break it out really easy, but we all know that hasn't happened lately. You know that's been here a long time when the pine straw has got so deep on top of it that it's created dirt for weeds to grow on. Trying to get all the vines I can out of it. Well, that plastic's just gonna have to be on there. At least that breaks up nicely. It's actually working really good. I just grab a piece, throw it over there, and break it into pieces. Instead of trying to crunch it all up and getting it mixed in with dirt. It doesn't really take a whole lot of effort to break it up. Concrete here. I kind of wanted to use that 36-inch bucket for this, but the thumb hangs down like a foot farther. It'd be very hard to grab it. They built this bucket good enough to handle a little. I don't really want to use the bucket teeth because that's how you end up breaking them. That thing will break. through it. I got a lot of concrete to go through. Oh, let's play with it. Let's break this big chunk right here. Well, it already broke itself up. There's my pet possum. He is currently not happy with me. Said I have disturbed his home. But I made you a new home over there, little buddy. So I made pretty good progress this afternoon. Got the machine nice and muddy, at least. I probably got half of it piled up. Just kind of sitting there taking my time going through it, breaking it up. It still needs to be broke up just a little bit more, but I can kind of do that while I'm waiting on the crusher. But yeah, probably, like I said, about half of it. I'll come back tomorrow and finish raking through that. Maybe this mud will dry out some. I doubt it, but one can hope. And pretty much rake through what's left right here. Hopefully this will go a little faster. It's a little cleaner. It isn't all mixed in with dirt, so that should go a little quicker, one would hope, as far as raking through here and getting it cleaned out pretty good. But what I was doing with that other stuff was, if I run across a piece that's got like a big 1-inch piece of rebar in it, I'll try to drop something on it to break it. If it doesn't break, it gets chunked over here to the side. So pile of mud and another pile of mud that I pulled out of that, so the sides broke up pretty good. We should be able to crush all that in a day, I think. All that and this. That's the plan, at least. We'll find out. Never done it before. Only one way to learn. Well, I helped a guy about a year or so ago for 2 or 3 hours.